Hello everyone. I have been so excited to come in and to speak to you today. So I am doing a live stream to multiple places at this time. I'm doing it to a couple of my Facebook groups, Awaken the Oracle Within, Igniting the Twin Flames. I'm going live on YouTube, and I'm also going live on my personal pages. So just with that, what that means is that any comments that come through, I don't get to see until afterwards who it is who's posted them. So if you do make comments, if you have something to say, then I would love for you to come in and say hello. But if you do, just know that I won't be able to see your name. So if you want to put your name first, then I can greet you back as well. I see we have a number of people that have joined, so welcome. How has everyone's day been today? I know that this is a slightly awkward time of the day for me to do it. It's 3 p.m. mid-afternoon in Alberta. But I was trying to make this fair. We have people that are coming in to see from the UK, from Europe, from New Zealand, I believe. So trying to make this at a time that works for many people. So I will give this a few more moments before I begin. It has been, I don't know about you guys, but it has been so hot up here. We've had like record temperatures. I think it was almost 40 the other day. So today is far more palatable. It's at 28 today. It's lovely. So do come in and say hello. Let me know whether you're watching the live or whether you are coming in to watch the replay here. Because I'm in so many different, I'm streaming in so many places, perhaps I can't see any comments. I'm not sure. So we'll give this a moment and then I'm going to start. So today we are going to be talking about one of the retreats that I'm holding. Next year, I'm going to be holding a couple of really beautiful retreats. And this one, I have to say, is the one that I am particularly excited about. Let me show you here. So I need to go, hang on, remove, and then I'm going to need to go back to the beginning here. Okay, so the beautiful Glastonbury and Stonehenge and Avebury Henge is some of the places that we are going to be looking at within today's introduction. So within today's live, what I'm going to be talking about is I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a background to why I feel that I've been called to bring this together. And then we're going to look at some of the special places, the spiritual aspects of these areas, of these beautiful lands. And then we're going to be looking at the retreat and the pilgrimage itself. And yes, I am calling it a pilgrimage as well. This is an area, a piece of land, which pilgrims have traveled to for centuries. The land itself has got incredibly healing energies. So first of all, I'd like to give a little bit of an introduction to myself. And yes, thank you for being here. I can see that I have a number of viewers who are watching, but thank you for being with me today with this. And thank you for those that are coming in for the replay. I'm sorry that, oh, there we go. Now I see some comments. Hi, Sue. So glad to have you here. So let me give a quick introduction about myself. So many of you will know me as Avalon. There are a few that will also know me as Lisa. So I was born with many gifts. I was able to pick up on subtle energies. And to be honest, there was really no barriers between me and the other dimensions. So what that meant was that I had my team of spirit guides who I conversed with on a very regular basis. And I was very led and guided. I would have prophetic dreams that I would often tell my mum about or others around me. And they would usually, well, they would come to pass, okay? I was telepathic back then, had a very telepathic kind of line with my grandmother, who lived hundreds of miles away. We couldn't phone, but I could send her telepathic messages and she would then return what I had asked her to send in return, okay? So very gifted as a child. As I went into my late teenage years and then more so into my adulthood, I did close a lot of those down. I was very sensitive to other people's energies. And anyone who is a sensitive, that are most of you who follow me are sensitives. And I found it challenging. And so I would kind of shut down certain aspects of my life or my feelings, right? My gifts. However, in 2015, I went through a very unique experience of a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. Okay, I had read an article that had been gifted to me. I had no intention of reading this article, but the person who was giving it to me was quite insistent that I read it. And what happened when I read it is actually is what started my reawakening. And I had pins and needles running right the way through my body, from my toes to my head and up and down around again. And with that Kundalini awakening, this created something within me that wanted to learn more. Hello, Karina. So lovely to have you here. It created an unstoppable thirst for knowledge as to what was happening and why was this particular article important to me. The article at the time was actually on starseeds, and it was the word starseed that had triggered that. Okay. Over the years since 2015, I have then been on a very fervent spiritual path to look at my gifts and to incorporate those. And what I have found is that I have embodied many of the gifts and talents that I've had in this lifetime that I came as a child. I've now fully embodied them, and also other gifts that I've had from previous or other lifetimes. It's come to my remembrance. I am an embodiment of those as well. So it has helped me to understand my true calling, that I am a pure channel. Many of you will know me as an oracle. I am a grid keeper. I am a portal opener. And each of these roles have given me certain callings, as it were, life purposes that I have been looking at. So some of these calls that I have had, and when I say calls, I really do mean calls. It means that my higher self, my spirit team, have guided me to be led to certain areas of the world where there is vortexes and very significant energies, and to work with those as a grid keeper and as a portal opener. So some of my travels have led me to Chichen Itza in Mexico, Roslin in Scotland, Glastonbury last year, which is where we're going to be talking about today. And more recently, or actually currently, I am being called to go down to Sedona, which is very, very interesting because a group of my graduate students had pulled together a retreat down there in Sedona. Originally, I was going, and then I had to step out of it due to some health concerns that I needed to look into. And now I have, just as of yesterday, I woke up in the morning and I knew, okay, Sedona, I needed to be there for the Lions Gate portal. And so next week, I've booked my flight, and next week I will be going down to Sedona to tap into those energies. So yes, I will be meeting up with my graduate students, but a lot of the purpose for me going down to Sedona is actually to work with the land. So I'll be spending a lot of time with the land while I am down there. One of my gifts is that I can feel portals before they open. And the Glastonbury retreat that we're talking about right now is for next year. It's for 2024. And it will fall within the perimeters of the 8-8 portal, the Lions Gate portal next year. And already I can feel this portal from next year. Next year is an 888 number, because we have the 2024, when you add up all those numbers, it's an 8 year. Just as an interesting fact, Lions Gate has always been very significant for me, to the fact that I was actually born in a Lions Gate hospital. So this retreat, or this pilgrimage, I have called it Bring Your Soul Home. And for those that this resonates with, these pictures that we have been showing you, I show you of like Stonehenge. If you see this picture and it brings a stirring in your soul, or when you see up here Glastonbury tour, if those bring something to you, here we have the Avebury stones, then it could be that your soul is calling you to bring back some of your fragmentations that you have left in this area from other lifetimes. Now, what do I mean by that? You know the saying that you say when you've left a place that you truly love, or you have left a person that you have truly loved, and you say, I have left a piece of me behind. That is an actual, true saying. We do. We leave a little piece of our soul in certain places, and we have done from lifetime to lifetime. And for many of us, Stonehenge and Glastonbury and Avebury, this part of the world, has been very significant to us in other lifetimes, where we have left soul fragments there. And many of us have been called at this time to go collect some of our soul fragments. Okay, and so bringing your soul home, this is an act of reuniting and re-emerging from past lives, if you want to call it past lives, and reintegrating them into your being, into your soul. And this is something that I've been doing for a number of years, is going and collecting pieces from other lifetimes. So this is a highly spiritual retreat, and a very personal one for many. So Glastonbury itself, let me tell you a little bit about this land. Like I say, this has been a place where pilgrims have gone for centuries. They've been drawn to it. And there are many legends around this area, including biblical figures, mystical objects, legendary kings, and spiritual gateways. So let's have a little look at some of those. So Law has often talked about Joseph of Arimathea, who was a very wealthy man, who was a follower of Jesus Christ. And when Jesus Christ was crucified and put into a tomb, it was the tomb of Joseph Arimathea that he was placed in. He was very wealthy. He said, put the body in here, somewhere precious, somewhere significant. And it was said that Joseph was given the Holy Grail, and that he did bring it to the Isle of Avalon, which is Glastonbury is known as the Isle of Avalon. There is talk that Jesus Christ himself once traversed this land. We know very little about Christ between the years of 12 and 32. And during that period of time, I've read many accounts where he may have traveled over to this incredible land. It is said that Joseph placed the Holy Grail within the Chalice Well, which is in Glastonbury, and that is a place that we will be going to, okay? We also have the legendary tales of King Arthur from Glastonbury, and his body is said to be buried in the Glastonbury Abbey. Whether this is legend or lore, it is beautiful. The energy there is incredibly beautiful, and it is one to look at. Glastonbury itself is seen as a mystical portal between dimensions. This is a meeting point of the elementals and the human worlds. So this promotes it is a portal in and of itself between the elemental worlds and the human worlds, where the dimensions and the veils are incredibly thin. So those who may be called here are ones who have ties to Christ, those who are pulled towards Avalon, those who are tied to the elementals, and those who may be very entwined with kind of the magical beliefs. Okay. So rebirth in our surroundings. Some of the places where we will be staying is right in Glastonbury itself. So these places that I'm going to be talking to you are all within walking distance and can be visited on a daily basis. But we will have specific times where we will be going to these particular areas. But just so you know, you can spend time in these areas yourself within easy walking distance. The Glastonbury tour, that's this picture, this top picture here. Okay, this is an ancient hill entwined with many, many legends. And this itself is viewed to be the spiritual gateway connecting to the earthly realm of Avalon and the realm of the spirit. Now, I was drawn to go to Glastonbury. I have been drawn to go to Glastonbury for years and years and years. And last year, when I went over, I made a specific trip to go see I was invited to go see my family over in the south coast of England. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to go to Glastonbury. And I booked that the same time that I was going to go visit my family. I was going to make it as an extended part of my trip. It was last year was the 2022 year. It was a year very much entwined with twin flames, and I am a twin flame, and I was very drawn, and I am a twin flame representative, and I was drawn to go do work there for the divine feminines and the divine masculines when I was there for the collective. And when I went, I felt incredibly tearful and emotional to go to the tour itself. As I was walking up there, I had memories that I had made a promise that I would return there. And that was me fulfilling my promise. I had promised in another lifetime that I would return to that spot, and that was me fulfilling my promise. I also knew that that would not be the last time that I would go visit. So there's something incredibly unique about that area. Then we have the Chalice Well. Now, this Chalice Well I spoke of just momentarily ago when we were talking about the Holy Grail being buried there. Okay, So what's really interesting about Glastonbury, well, there's many interesting things, but the first of all, we have two ley lines. We have the divine feminine and we have the divine masculine ley lines, called the Michael and Mary ley lines, and they crisscross at several points throughout the town itself. The other really interesting thing about this town is it has two separate springs. Okay, one spouts red water, or has a tinge to it, is from the iron ore that it is in there, and that is known as the feminine well. And that is the chalice well that we're talking about here in this second picture. You can see this beautiful picture here. This is stones and crystals inlaid in the ground at the chalice well, where and it is talking about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and then we have the sword that runs through it. In fact, let me see, I can show you this here. I got a bottle with this on it here, and this is something that we will do too. We will get the bottles, and it is fresh spring water, and you can take your bottle and you can hold it and you can fill it and you can drink the water from this chalice well. You can also dip your feet in it. There's a special area where you can go dip, and there's many who travel here still to this day for the healing energies of the chalice well and the white springs that we're going to be talking about momentarily. The chalice wells has an incredibly beautiful garden to it, and many aspects of it are, well, all of it is it's very spiritually aligned. Like the designs of everything that is in there has been incredibly well thought out. Next, we have the white springs. Now, I cannot show you pictures. These are my pictures, by the way, not the top picture, but these two bottom pictures are my own pictures from when I was there. You cannot take pictures inside the white springs, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But the white springs comes from that secondary well that I was talking to you about, and it is the secondary spring, and it is literally across the road from the chalice well. So you walk out of the chalice well gates to the white springs, and you can fill your water from the white springs as well. The white springs is the masculine energy. So you have the combination of, you can go from one tap and get the water from the masculine and then go to the feminine. And they're completely different sources of water. The white springs, we will go into that, it is dedicated to the goddesses, many goddesses within there. And you can go in the well. There is no light in there. It is a cave, and it is, but not claustrophobic cave. They light it with candles, and it is only open on certain days. And it's very interesting because the day, I hadn't realized that when I went there that particular time, and I just assumed that it was going to be open the same time as the chalice well, and that was not the case. And it said that it was only open on Friday afternoons and another day, and I was going to miss those openings. And I was sitting outside of it, and somebody walked by, one of the goddesses that work there, and she opened up the gates and she let me and the others who were waiting outside it go inside it. Now, when I say you can go, so in the chalice well, you can dip your feet and you can dip your hands and you can get your water. In the white springs, you can immerse yourself in the water. There is a bathing point there. It is a well. It will come up about waist high, depending how tall you are. And again, like I say, people have traveled here for centuries to use these healing waters. And they often have healing ceremonies specifically where people will book time to go in here to have a healing ceremony. No photos are allowed in here because clothing is optional. Okay? So you can choose whether this is something that you do clothed or unclothed or not at all. That is Glastonbury itself, or part of it. I also have to say, for those that like shopping, all of the shops there are to do with the metaphysical. So if you like crystals, oracle cards, you name it, they have it. It is incredible. It's beautiful. I don't think I've ever been to a community where you walk down the town center and it just smells of incense, because all of them are burning incense around you. There are goddess temples within there that you can go visit. Everything about it is designed that way. On the Lionsgate portal, on the 888 Lionsgate portal, we will be visiting Stonehenge. So this particular, I've already been talking about Lionsgate portal from this year. I've been talking about it. We're just coming up for it, and I can feel it within me, how special it is. And we are a year out from when we're going to be here, but I can tell you that I can already feel the energy from this 888 Lionsgate portal. So the Lionsgate portal in 2024 is going to hold extraordinary potency for spiritual and personal growth, particularly among those who identify as twin flames. So like I'd mentioned earlier, the 2024, when you add those all up, it adds up to an 8-year. So this is representing infinity, abundance, and karmic balance. Okay, so it's talking about the spirituality and love are set to reach heights previously uncharted. So twin flames at this point, I felt it in 2022. And for many of us in this group, I think Patty maybe had put up a post the other day where she had said that she met her twin in 2022. There were a lot of meetings in 2022 to twin flames. But this 2024 year is going to really bring the twin flames stronger, a really strong pull together. And this is going to usher in an era of higher understanding, increased synchronicities, and a profound spiritual connection. So there's going to be themes of balance, unity, and infinite potential. Allowing twin flames to ascend collectively and progress towards their shared destiny. The visual of the symbol of the 8, is an infinity symbol in and of itself. Okay, so it's going to be encompassing the cyclical energies of life, death, and rebirth, and then ongoing growth. So yeah, we are going to spend time at Stonehenge, at that Lionsgate portal, at Stonehenge. Now, Stonehenge, we often see it in pictures where you can go up and you can touch the stones. I have not been to Stonehenge yet, but from what I've heard from the locals, you cannot. It is barriered off most of the time. So I don't know if it will actually be open for us to get close to the stones at that time, but we will be in the area. But because of that, our next stop is going to be to Avebury on the 8th, where you can touch these stones. I have heard so much. Again, I have not been here, but it has been on my wish list for a very long period of time. And I've heard from numerous sources that Avebury has been something that they have been drawn to, that the energies are even stronger than those at Stonehenge. So Avebury Henge, lesser known, but it is actually the world's largest megalithic stone circle, and it holds a profound spiritual resonance, as many perceiving it as a potent sanctuary of ancient wisdom and healing energies. These stones, this area has been used by those who were alchemists who were wisdom keepers. It has been used for them for centuries, and we can still connect to those energies to this day. So Glastonbury itself is known as the world's Heart Chakra Centre. There are chakra points in the earth. Yes, we talk about the physical chakra points on our own body. As above, so below. Within Earth itself, there are chakra points. I am lucky enough to live fairly near one, Lake Louise. You may have heard of Lake Louise, incredibly beautiful. Sedona is, of course, another one. And Glastonbury is known as the heart chakra of the world. And it has those heart ley lines that go throughout it, okay? So one of the things that we are going to be doing is we are going to be having a cacao ceremony, which is also known as a heart opening experience. This is something that I have recently been introduced to. I went to my first cacao ceremony, and yeah, as Karina is saying, as twins, we connect most strongly through our heart chakras, exactly. But we're going to do a cacao ceremony together when we're there. So we're going to be awakening, the awakening of a heart in the very heart center of the world. So what we are going to do is we're going to harmonize our energies with Mother Earth's heartbeat, drawing from Glastonbury's very powerful energy vortex through rich traditional rituals. And we're going to unlock the portal of deep self-awareness and forge a really authentic bond with the land revered for centuries in its healing properties. This is going to be a very, very healing retreat. From the ley lines to the land itself, to the springs, everything about this is designed for healing. One of the things we will also be doing is we're going to be doing a white or a neutral photo shoot. So this we will do at our sacred farewell gathering, and this will be a keepsake. So whites and creams, and I have a photographer who's coming in to take group photos. Somewhere along the line, for those that are booked into this, I will be asking you if you also want personal ones. And the grounds in which we are going to be doing this, I want to share with you, but I have to wait until it's 100% confirmed of where we will be doing this. But what I have in mind is spectacular, it's beautiful. So what to know about this? The first thing I want to say is that there are only 8 spaces available. And actually, some of those have already gone. All right, so if this is something that you feel called to, then I would say not to hesitate with this. So this is what you need to know for this pilgrimage retreat. The Vesica Pisces vision. Remember the symbol that I showed you? This is called the Vesica Pisces. I have no tattoos on my body, but when I went to Glastonbury, I felt so connected to the land, and the symbol of Glastonbury is very much this Vesica Pisces, that I highly considered, and I may yet still do it, having a tattoo of this put on me, because it is such an incredible, carries such beautiful energy. 2 halves, 1 soul. Ignite and unite in Glastonbury's energetic nexus. So this is a 5-day retreat. Often retreats only are for 3 days, but this is a 5-day retreat. We're going to arrive on August the 5th, and we're going to stay until August the 9th. Okay, so we are going to be in some of England's most hallowed and mystical sites, Stonehenge and Avebury. Accommodation. So I have booked accommodation. I have booked a reserve accommodation, and this reserve accommodation is absolutely fantastic. However, I have applied to somewhere that, hi, Amy, I have applied to somewhere that is not a hotel. It is not a bed and breakfast. It is incredibly unique, very, very special. You have to get permission to stay there. And they have told me that they're going to get back to me within the next couple of weeks in regards to this accommodation. Either places I'm really excited to share with you, but this particular one that I have in my mind is something that would be incredibly special for this particular group. And I'm manifesting that that is where we're going to stay. So most rooms are shared with twin beds. Of course, you'll not be sharing a bed with anybody unless you're coming with a counterpart. Okay, this is open for that too, all right? Just tell me in advance so I can make sure that I put the right people in the right rooms. So this is going to be a communal and a bonding experience, all right? So within the retreat, your accommodation is covered. So is all meals. Well, if you want snacks and treats and things like that, you go for it, guys. But included in this, there's going to be breakfast, lunch, and supper. And on one of those days, then we will go for high tea. You can't go to England and not have high tea, and they have some beautiful places within Glastonbury that I've already tested. And they're wonderful. We have to go back. I have to take you there. So we're going to go have your green tea, all right? The activities that we have got scheduled, so we have got multiple excursions. Right within the town itself, like I have said, there is an abbey where it is said that King Arthur is buried. We will go there. It's beautiful. We will go to the Chalice Well. We will go to the White Springs. We will go to the tour. You will have plenty of time to look around and explore those areas by yourself, as well as us doing this as a group. So many of us as sensitives, we like being in groups for short periods of time, and then we like to go do our own thing, right? So we will bear that in mind, okay? We will be going to Stonehenge, we will be going to Avebury, and the transportation and the tickets to those places are covered within this price as well. We are going to have the cacao ceremony. And then, like I say, we are going to have a very special farewell ceremony where we will dress in the whites and creams or neutrals to honor this sacred land and this sacred ground. And I have a photographer coming in to take group photos for that. Connectivity. Not only is this a retreat and a pilgrimage, this is also a learning experience. So we will have monthly Zoom calls leading up to this, so that I've touched a little bit today on some of the spiritual significance of the land and the places that we are going. But we are going to hold monthly classes where we research these areas so that when you're there, you can fully immerse and become one with the land, rather than having all of this information bombarded at you of, okay, this is where Joseph of Arthemera's staff was put, and then this is where this beautiful tree grew. Like, we will look into all of these things, right? We'll look at the myths, we'll look at the legends, we'll look at the facts. The other thing that we have got going already, for those who are in here, is we have a WhatsApp chat. And this WhatsApp chat is going to be going on for almost a year. And the reason I have this is for a bonding experience. We want to be bonded before we go into this, so we get to know each other. And that we have, no one can participate in the Zooms or the WhatsApp unless they are part of this. This is a very sacred group that we are creating, for sure. So unfortunately, that's not going to be offered. This is very exclusive to those who are part of exclusive to who are part of this group. Okay. So this WhatsApp chat, yeah, you will connect with others who are coming on the tour with us, the retreat, and build and bond with one another. Like I say, from memorabilia, we will have the photographs that will be there as well. Transportation to and from Stonehenge and Avebury is arranged so that you can focus solely on absorbing the ancient energies. Okay, our accommodation, no matter which accommodation we end up getting, it is right in Glastonbury itself. And this particular town is perfect for walking. You don't need buses or anything within this town. Okay, so the nearest airport is Bristol. And this retreat does not cover your flights to and from Glastonbury. Okay, so probably for those that book, we will discuss further. There might be pre-trips, there might be pre-things happening before, and there might be after, post, that we might decide to do together, maybe, okay? And if that be the case, I can see something emerging. I could definitely see something emerging where we decide to meet in London a few days earlier, do something there, and then all travel up together. But that can be something that we discuss within our group, okay? So I am incredibly excited about the retreat, and I can't wait to experience the journey with this. This land, like I say, the land itself and the energies of it are incredible. And like I say, there is a maximum of 8 within this group. And that is due to, well, that's due to a number of things. One, the accommodation. Hi, Kelly. This is due to the accommodation, but not just the accommodation. That 8 number that we have created, it just feels right. Because I could get larger accommodation, but this a very small sacred group. And what I also foresee for this particular group is that, yes, we are doing this for ourselves and bringing our soul fragments together within this, but we are also doing something at a collective level for others. I can already feel it, okay? So with this, I understand that different people have different financial circumstances. And I am not a travel agent. So I'm funding this myself currently. But there is early bird tickets here. And this can be paid either in full or in 11 installments. With this, the deadline for the early birds is July the 31st. And then after that point, it's going to be a regular price of $3,000 or 10 installments at that point of $350 US. Okay. So like I say, am really, really excited about this. And I'm looking forward to the group who we are going to be putting together. I've also been asked a couple of questions. Do you have to be a twin flame to come on this? You do not. You do not have to be a twin flame. If you do not associate with being a twin flame, you do not. Okay. And if you have it, let me open this up now. Is there questions? Is there questions that I can help answer at this point? So you have me here. My full attention is yours. Thank you, Karina. I wish you all a blessed time. I'm so excited for all of you. Yes, I'm excited to be doing this too. And Sue, I'm very excited. Sue is already part of this, so I'm very excited. Any questions that I can help you with? So I know some of you came in a little bit later. This will be available for replay if there's something that you wanted to take a peek at within here. I'll give it a couple of moments for questions. One of the things I found, I fly to the UK all of the time, by the way, guys. And so what I have noticed is, and again, for those who do join, we will discuss this more, but I wouldn't wait till the last minute to book your flights. For this, I found that there's, when I'm booking 6 months prior, I get some really good ticket deals, really, really good ticket deals. So that's something that we can discuss as well. Okay. All right, so I'm not seeing any questions. If anybody does have questions, absolutely feel free to message me. I'm going to add the link below, and I will also add a link to, I'll add a link below the video here, but I'll also add a separate link for those that are interested, okay? And if somehow you can't find the link and you want the link, message me and I will send it to you, okay? But sending each of you so much love, and I do appreciate you being here with me today. Do take care for now.